Today we're talking about long-term travel and how to prepare for it. If you're planning a trip longer than 1 month, there are 12 things that you need to do before leaving.
We're going to go deep in this ultimate guide for travelers, snowbirds, and digital nomads, so you can always check the chapters feature to navigate through the video. We'll also be posting a PDF checklist on our blog as a reference.
There are 3 categories we will focus on: your home, your healthcare, and travel preparations. Let's start with what you should do when preparing your home for your departure.
Indoor home security is all about making sure your belongings are secure and that your home doesn't look unoccupied. Having lights on staggered timers can give the appearance of people moving around your home. Before you leave, photograph high-value belongings and store them in a safe. Being a bit frugal and minimalist can help too. If you don't have much stuff and the replacement cost is low, you save money on insurance and are a lower risk target for theft. Stealing a 5-year-old PC is less lucrative than a brand new MacBook Pro. Have a plan for your landline and voicemail so your callers don't get a mailbox is full message. You should also contact your insurance company to discuss any specific requirements for when you're away. Some policies will void coverage if your home is left unattended for an extended period of time. If this is the case, you may need to find a reliable friend, neighbor, family member, or service to check in on the place while you're away.
Outdoor home security is, of course, making sure that everything on the outside of your home is secure. You should be considering all potential entry points into your home, including chimney flues, doors, windows, and pet doors to prevent small animals, birds, or burglars from getting in. Things like making sure every exterior door on your house has a deadbolt, putting a stick in sliding doors or window tracks, installing motion-sensored lights, and disabling your automatic garage door opener can go a long way to making sure that your home is more secure. You also need to consider packages that might be arriving at your home when you're away. Speak to your postal service about mail forwarding or putting delivery on hold until you get back. Be sure to pause all subscriptions and services such as magazines and television, switch to paperless options to receive as much of your mail by email as possible, and ask a reliable person to stop by regularly to take away any junk mail that might appear on your doorstep. You may even consider asking someone to move your vehicle around the driveway or park their own vehicles in your driveway. You can even go as far as asking a neighbor to put one of their garbage cans at your curb on garbage day.
There are a few things to do with regards to heating, plumbing, and electrical systems before leaving on long-term travel. Follow the guidelines of your insurance company's away policy. Adjust the thermostat to about 10 to 12 degrees Celsius or 50 to 54 Fahrenheit. Consider turning off the water, and if you do, open the taps to drain the water. Some homes have a separate water valve for washing machines, so make sure that's turned off as well, and the washer door left open to prevent mold and mildew. If you're turning off the water, you should turn off your water heater as well, and unplug all the electrical devices and appliances that you can, such as computers, televisions, and radios. This will cut your electrical bill and also reduce the chance of a fire.
Outside of your home, if you've shut off the water system, be sure to drain all water taps and make sure any irrigation systems are properly drained. Finally, arrange for snow removal or lawn maintenance to give the appearance that your home is not abandoned.
Lastly, for preparing your home before leaving, you need to make sure all of your financial policies and commitments are in order. Verify the expiration dates on insurance policies and renew them ahead of time if they'll expire while you're away. Arrange to pay your taxes if they'll be due while you're away, and speak to your home security provider if you have one to notify them of your absence. They may have some final suggestions on how to prepare too.
Now that your home will be ready, let's look at 3 things to prepare with regards to our health.
Before leaving on long-term travel, it's a good idea to schedule medical, dental, and vision checkups before going. Be sure to plan these well in advance in case you may need follow-up appointments. Also, speak to a doctor about potential vaccines you may require for your destination. Plan to have enough prescription medications for the duration of your trip and keep them in the original bottles with the pharmacy labels so there's no question at border crossings. It's also a good idea to keep a list of significant health conditions and any prescriptions, their amount, and schedule on hand in case of emergency. And if you wear eyewear, take a copy of the prescription too, just in case.
One of the most important things you need for long-term travel is medical insurance. Be sure to read and understand the policy before leaving so that you don't have any surprises if you have to make a claim. Make sure all activities you have planned will be covered, such as scuba diving or extreme sports.
If you have pets, create a plan for their care, whether you are taking them with you or leaving them behind with someone else. Be sure they have a routine checkup, vaccines, and enough prescriptions for the duration of your trip. If they're going with you, get pet first aid training and pack a pet first aid kit for the journey. You'll also be required to verify and comply comply with entry requirements for each country you plan to take them to. If they're staying behind, provide clear instructions for care and what to do in the event of emergency, including how to contact you. You may even consider giving the caretaker a letter of pre-authorized care to a certain dollar amount for them to present to the veterinarian in the event of an emergency and you're not available immediately by phone. Of course, speak to your veterinarian as well, informing them of who's caring for your pet and your plan for care should they need veterinary attention.
And now we can prepare ourselves for the actual travel logistics. Don't forget to check off these last 4 things before leaving.
Having all your travel documents, including passports, immunization records, itineraries, and visas in order before traveling is essential. Make sure they're not going to expire and that they meet the requirements of your destination. For example, travel to some countries requires a passport that will not expire for at least 6 months after departure. It's also a good idea to make 2 copies of each of your travel documents, identity cards, credit cards, etc. Leave 1 copy with a trusted friend or family member and pack the second one in a different place than where you keep the originals. Depending on how long you're going, you may also want to consider bringing documents that prove you'll be returning to your home country and can sustain yourself while you're traveling. These types of documents are handy to prove that you're not planning to overstay your welcome. Such documents can include the deed to your house, current property tax receipts, return tickets, travel insurance with the expiration date highlighted, and bank statements.
Before leaving, obtain an amount of money in the local currency for the destination to which you are traveling, and make sure any credit cards you'll be taking will not expire during your travels. If you're traveling with valuables, consider contacting your insurance company to make sure they will be covered if lost or damaged. And don't forget to declare these valuables at the customs office to prove that you have purchased them in your home country and not while abroad.
Be sure to check any travel advisories from your government for the countries you plan to visit, and consider registering with your country's local embassy at your destination just in case in an emergency your government is trying to locate citizens for assistance or evacuation. You may also want to check whether your mobile phone will work at your destination. If you'll be getting a local SIM card, research plans and points of sale to make the switch smooth when you arrive.
When traveling by land, remember to keep valuables out of sight, pack an emergency kit, and verify vehicle insurance requirements and coverage for your destination. In some cases, your regular car insurance from home will cover you, but sometimes it won't. And of course, be sure to take your vehicle for a tune-up before leaving, and make sure your driver's license won't expire while you're away. If traveling by air, check with your airline for any special requirements before leaving for the airport to confirm meals and to communicate any special needs you may have. And remember to plan for your comfort once aboard, including snacks, books, cards, or puzzle books, and get up regularly to stretch and walk around. Traveling by sea has many of the same tips, such as talking to your travel provider about any needs you may have prior to leaving. But also remember that you may need to carry your passport even once aboard to be able to disembark at each international port, and to carry any prescription medications you require in your carry-on luggage, because it may be possible your luggage will not arrive to your room for several hours.
Keeping these 12 areas in mind while preparing for long-term travel will help keep you and your home prepared and cared for while you're away. We'd be really interested in hearing about some of the things you do to get ready for long-term travel. Or maybe you have a question about what you've seen. Please share in the comments section below.
Make sure you don't miss the next video by liking, subscribing, and turning on notifications. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.